There was a time in my life where people had transitioned out of my life. Pillars in my family, had transitioned out of my life that had known me before I knew myself, from the time I was in my mother's womb, all the way throughout all of my life. They knew all the details of the family. They knew all the details of our history here in this planet, because they had lived in during generations that I only read about. And there was a time where I would rest in the fact that I had connection with them more than I rested in my connections with people. I would rest in the fact that my grandmother, who loved me more than anything and had transitioned on, was still with me and guiding and directing me, more than I could rest in the fact that I had family members still active in this life. I would question certain family members' love for me and rest in assurance of the love of those that had transitioned love for me. This is what Scripture is saying. This is a prophetic word, and it's speaking to a reality. It's a state of being that we will get to in life through all of the transgressions. This is speaking to transgressions that we do against one another for petty reasons and for things that we feel are significant. Yet we don't feel strong enough to come before one another and discuss our differences. So we sweep them under the rug and we smile at one another, and internally we dislike one another. And the one that has observed all of the various seasons of life, of the oppressed and of the oppressor, and they've seen all of the interactions throughout all of the seasons, they finally get to a place where he says, I returned and I considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. He's reflecting. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. I remember seeing those that felt helpless and that didn't have a comforter and that didn't know that they had the comforter that they needed right inside of them. They never thought to look within. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. I've seen those that thought that they were all that. They had all sorts of resources. But the only reason that they were having resources was because they were oppressing and siphoning resources from other people. And I studied them, and I noticed that they had power, but they too didn't have a comforter. They too didn't align to the power that was within them. Their power was manufactured. It was a lie. Their power is contingent upon seasons and mind states. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Therefore I didn't find anyone living that I could align to and relate to, because I saw through it. Yet I would be hopeful in those that transitioned to have a broader outlook than me, because they had gone through the seasons as well. Yet they experienced something that I have yet not to experience. And on the other side, could they possibly pull it all together and make sense of it? Could they take all of the wisdom of their experiences in life, when their life flashed before them, did it all come together in this great symphony of truth? Could I trust that they see my life and my situation from an aerial and a broader perspective, more so than they ever could while they were living? Would life make better sense to them than me that's living? That is what he's saying. He's saying, I got a better relationship with them than I do with any of y'all. Why? How could you get to such a place? The hidden things, the unspoken things. Being able to sense a degree or two is off in a relationship, but never being able to really put your finger on what exactly it is. No matter how humble you come before people, no matter how much you say you forgive people, no matter how much you ask people to forgive you, it never seems to be correct. Even if you don't believe you should be forgiven, or even if you don't know why you deserve to be forgiven. We find ourselves in these places with people just to smooth the rough edges over, to have peace. But there's no way to have peace with people that are not at peace with themselves. And therefore, the one that wrote this verse is saying, I found no commonality to them. Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. What a mess. The gray areas of life. The gray areas. The areas that you can't say is or isn't, so you give it the benefit of the doubt. He praised those that rested in the gray areas more than those that were alive. All because of the experiences he had in the seasons of his life and what he saw. Much wisdom in this. What are you viewing during the seasons of your life? Are you paying attention? Are you seeing things for what they are when they come back and reposition themselves with the same old song and dance? Or are you looking at them and saying, okay, I've seen this before. I don't need to see it again. Are you thanking people for showing you who they are during the seasons of your life? Or are you squinting, seeing them faintly because you don't want to acknowledge what you see with your eyes wide open? It all depends on how you see yourself and how strong you are. And the only way that you get strong is by being able to view and interact consciously throughout the various seasons of your life. For you to be able to see exactly what God is showing you throughout the various seasons of your life and wrestle with them. That is the only way that you get strong enough to get to the place where this individual is, where he can view the hard things and come to a determination about the hard things, about the things that don't wish to be seen and named. And in doing so, give him the capability of naming them and shining a light of truth on them so that they have their proper place in your life. This is how you get strong. You get strong incrementally by paying attention and actively moving throughout the various seasons of your life to their fullest, so that when the season transitions into the next, you're not sad to see it go. You're anxious to see a new one come because you've exhausted all that there was to do in that past season. This is my word to you today. I didn't know how I was going to come forward